Hello everybody and welcome to this tutorial. Today I'm gonna go ahead and start configuring my computer, my network settings in order to be able to strip the SSL encryption from various packets that I'm going to redirect to myself. Anyway, one of the first things that we need to do is take a look at the list of these commands here. So it's echo 1 to this file here. Let me just show you. I'm going to copy paste it. I am deliberately not giving you the text files from which you can copy paste. I I mean, I know that it's perhaps tiresome or something like that, but try typing the commands in. It does help you a great deal to understand them better because you're going to make mistakes and you're going to correct them and you will understand and remember the commands as well. A very good way to remember them is just to type them in. Also, you will be able to understand a bit more because you're going to get error messages that are going to tell you stuff about it. Anyway, I have prepared a file for myself here to save us a bit of time today and to save me a bit of mistake to save myself from making mistakes when typing. But anyway, what we need to do is type this in. It says echo 1 and then put it into, well, this file here. I can go ahead and press enter. It's already set to 1, but it doesn't matter. I can also verify that it is 1 by catting the content. So it is 1. If you wish to revert it back to the old state, just type in 0. And if I type in cat again, it's going to be 0. By default on your machines, it will be set to 0. So you do need to change this. I have done this before, so it was already on 1, but it doesn't matter. It does no harm to type it in one more time. Now there is this rather lengthy command in terms of IP tables configuration. Now we need to configure our firewall for port redirection because we need to redirect traffic from a certain port to a certain port. So from port 80 to the listening port of the SSL Strip. And IP tables, as I mentioned before, is a fantastic firewall, completely open source, and it can be used to conduct extremely complex operations, and it can be used for the simplest of things. And the wonder of it is that it's free and that it's very good. Anyway, type in IP. There's also a graphical interface, but I don't. Rarely people use it on very rare occasions. I don't think that is the general approach. Usually people prefer to just type the commands in themselves. Anyway, IP tables space T NAT. So NAT is a table for network address translation. Dash A. That stands for append. I could also type in here I for insert or D for delete, but we need append and to chain pre-routing. Excellent. We're going to specify a protocol, so it's going to be TCP dash dash destination port. This you can also type in here. You can also use dport argument, but I don't know. I suppose for some strange reason, I've opted for destination port. It's a lot easier to understand when looking at it. It's practically written as though it was literally English language. It is English language, but I mean, how would you tell somebody to redirect to a certain port? You would tell him redirect to port and then type in a port. You use the same syntax when telling somebody, a real person, to redirect something. You would use the same syntax to actually tell the machine as well. So it's fair. They've made a great effort to make it as simple as possible. Although at first glance it can seem a bit complex. So it's TCP. The destination port is 80, and now I need a command that's going to be passed. So J, and I want to redirect the traffic. So just type in redirect space dash dash to dash port 8080. Now port 8080 is going to be the port on which SSL Strip will be listening on. Go ahead and press enter. There is no output, there is no confirmation, nothing. The exit code is 0, so nothing happens here. And if nothing happens, that's great. It means it has worked. Not necessarily, but 99% of the cases it means that it has worked. However, I do like to run a verification. and I'm going to go ahead and type in IP tables dash T nat space dash L to get a listing, and I want pre-routing. I'm going to see what I've done there. Excellent. So you see it says redirect TCP from anywhere to anywhere with the destination port of, we see D port, DPT, it's short version here. So destination port is port 80, which is HTTP. It's redirect ports 8080. Excellent. I've already inserted, I have a bad feeling I've inserted this rule 3 times by now, because I've done some test runs in order to not make any mistakes during the tutorial to save us all time. But it seems to be effective. It seems to be working. So let's just go ahead and clear the screen. Keep in mind that while you're doing this, you're going to encounter a lot of problems. There's going to be error messages. Things are not going to work. You're going to need to reinstall some libraries perhaps, or something of a kind. Don't sweat it. That is all standard procedure. It happens to everybody quite literally. You just need nerves of steel to go through it. Now I've written for myself here, find a target. Now you can use, I know what target I'm going to attack, but you can use nmap. And before you use nmap, just type in ifconfig. Clear ifconfig. P8 P1. Excellent. So I just wanted to get a listing for the interface that I'm using, because you need to be using the interface that you are using to connect to the internet. So this is the IP address that is assigned to me. Usually the default gateway is simply the lowest one, but you can check the default gateway by typing in route, press enter, and there we go. Gateway 192.168.1.1. That would be the IP address of my router within a LAN. Now, looking at this, I'm guessing that it is assigning IP addresses from 2 to 250 to 254, or yeah, 254, because it can't assign 255. 255 is the broadcast. Anyway, so from 2 to 254, it's going to be assigning IP addresses. I can perform an nmap scan of the network. So nmap, and I'm going to go ahead and type in 192.168.1.1/24. So please scan the entire subnet, or I can just do this /2 254 to save myself a couple of IP addresses here, 2 IP addresses less. And I want double verbose output. This might take a while if you're doing it. This will reveal all the hosts that are up on the network that nmap can reveal. I've also told it to scan. However, I mean, yeah, you're going to have to do this basically if you're in a real life situation, and it's going to keep on scanning. And it says, okay, host down. I only have one host that is up here, that is up and running, which is my Windows machine, and I'm not going to go and sift through all these up. I'm just going to go ahead over to my virtual box and open up my Windows 8 machine. There you go. So it says scanned hosts, never mind. Anyway, you will need to perform this scan if you want to figure out who is alive, but I've just showed you how to do it. Just do nmap, and if you don't find any hosts, try passing on some different arguments to nmap. Try saying like pn or something of a kind, and see if that yields any different results. Also, you can use -o for OS detection and something of a kind. Yep, there we go. So I'm going to open up my Windows machine, type in ipconfig into the CMD. Oops, is it IP? Yep, it's ipconfig into the CMD, and I'm going to get a lot of information here. Basically, I'm only interested to see which IP address is actually assigned to this machine. It's 100. Excellent. So this machine, this Windows 8.1 virtual machine, is functioning on 192.168.1.100. And that is my victim. That is the person, that is a machine that I wish to vandalize, that I want to actually strip of its encryption and view its traffic. So I'll just go ahead and minimize it for the time being, as we know what the IP address is there. And if you're wondering why I have all these terminals open, we will need 2 terminals to perform this attack, and a third one to view the results of the attack because we don't want to stop the attack while we are viewing the results. Anyway, second part, in the follow-up tutorial, I'm gonna go ahead and go over ARP spoof. Since we have completely prepared our machine, we have found our victim. Now we need to do the ARP spoof, and we need to conduct an SSL strip, and then we need to have a live report of the log as well in order to pull out some of the valuable information from it. Anyway, I bid you all farewell, and I hope to see you in the next tutorial.